Good morning. I'm going to do an announcement before we do call the meeting to order. There's no cable. Channel 77 is out, but we can still watch the meeting, and it's being recorded. We can still watch it on our phones from our Yuma County website. We'll start the regular session of the Yuma County Board of Supervisors, also sitting as all special taxing district, October 7, 2024, 9 a.m. Board members will attend either in person, by telephone, or remotely via electronic conferencing. We're all here except, Tony's on his way. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Supervisor Lyons, can you please lead us?
Yes. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on to call to the public. Call to the public is held for public benefit to allow individuals to address issues within the board's jurisdiction. Board members may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01, H, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to criticism, or scheduling the matter for further discussion and decision at a future date. Public comments may be made in person or submitted by email at publiccomments@yumacountyaz.gov. The email forms of public comments will be accepted until 8 a.m. the morning of the meeting. All public comments will be read out loud during the Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting that starts at 9 a.m. Desiree, do we have any emails?
Yes, we do. We have two. First one was received from a Don Verink. It reads, as a homeowner in the Foothills community during winter months and a husband who worked in city public utilities and private construction, I vehemently oppose this rezone unless the developers are held responsible for the infrastructure, including water, sewers, drainage for monsoon rains, road improvements. I am not opposed to the changes if these are met. I know growth is inevitable, but responsible growth is the key. The second comment we received from a Darla Peterson regarding rezoning. To who it may concern, I have been a resident of Mesa del Sol living on South Del Vista Drive for over 20 years and have had to put up with drivers driving too fast and crashing into my front fence not once but twice. I feel the more traffic, more accidents. I am opposed to adding more people, automobiles, and noise in our area. We have so little control over quality of air pollution, policing, speeding as it is. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Desiree. I got some speaker forms. I have one and one of the speaker forms is for an item on the agenda. If they wish to do it during the call to the public or wait till I open up that agenda item. We'll start with Gail Kestercombe. Morning, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Good morning. My name is Gail Castricone, and I am the neighborhood advocate for the We, as a community, have come to the conclusion that Bath Park and many other properties may never come into compliance. I have direct communication on a weekly basis with the different residents in the B&C neighborhoods. For years, their complaints and concerns have always been the same. They just want and desire the same thing that all Americans want, a safe and healthy environment to raise their families in. We have determined to never allow a trailer park to terrify our neighborhood again like Ban Park did. We have been working for 3 months now on our new butterfly project. We have adopted the Spring Garden Trailer Park. They don't vet their renters, and they have been out of compliance for years. The park was purchased 3 years ago, and the owners live out of state. They can't come back to the park every 3 months. They have been through 3 managers that did not work out. I have met with the new manager, and she is wonderful. The park residents like her a lot, and she is very proactive in caring for the needs of the park. I had the pleasure of meeting the new owner, and I gave her the B&C Colonia packet, which included the Yuma County zoning ordinance. They have a huge clubhouse that has been vandalized over the years, so our Butterfly Project team, along with the Hope Center, have volunteered, along with the residents of the park, to tear out and replace the damaged sheetrock and paint the walls. The owner has agreed to pay for all of the materials. Our goal is to make it usable for the families to use for their activities. We distribute food boxes the 3rd Saturday of every month. I go to the park and meet new people, and now they have something to look forward to. The properties are now coming into compliance. I am also going to speak with DDS to see if we can send the trailer park owners in the B&C Colony a letter stating the Yuma County zoning ordinances. I have a paper from 2005 that would be perfect. The slumlords need to know that there are consequences for neglect in their trailer parks. I will pay for the stamps myself. 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gail. I have a card from Cindy Wellman. Do you want to speak right now or wait till the item is open?
I'll wait till the item.
Remy Martinez. Welcome, Remy Martinez. He's the Executive Director for Forefront and ED.
Yes, thank you. And good morning to all. Hey, nice meeting you. Well, the subject of my intervention here is the 8th Major International Bike Ride. Let's ride together. Here's the poster of the event. It's going to take event on the 26th of October. It's the 8th time we have this here. So, good morning. My name is Remy Martinez, 2228 West Jackson Street, Somerton, Arizona, and I'm pleased to introduce myself as the new Executive Director of the Forefront ED. Good morning to all the members of this board. We're about boosting economic development by harnessing the amazing opportunities of our location offered within awesome binational and interstate mega region. A special shout out to our supervisor, Porches, who's a member of the board of the Forefront ED, a representative of the Yuma County. I'm reaching out with enthusiastic news. We're getting up for the 8th annual Major International Bike Ride. This event is all about families having fun, staying active, and building stronger bonds between our Yuma County cities and towns and San Luis Rio Colorado, and doing it all in a safe and supportive environment. Please mark your calendars for October 26th. We'll be kicking things off early at 7 a.m. for an 8 a.m. start. And here's a bonus. The Ketchum Tribe is hosting a welcome reception for us, 6 p.m. on Friday, October 25th at the Paradise Casino. We'll have registration, fun activities, and even a raffle with awesome cycling gear. I know you've been incredible supporters of these events in the past, riding alongside with your friends and showing what this event is all about. Staying connected, working towards shared goals, and building more prosperous future for our entire region. I want to express my sincerest gratitude to Arlene Galaviz, whose continued collaboration with our organization team for this activity has been invaluable. We deeply appreciate the ongoing support of Alejandro Figueroa, who is instrumental in our economic promotion and workforce development initiative with the Forefront ED, and Ian McGregor, who is important agent in the vision of the regional development of the county and punctual participant in the Forefront ED. Next week, I'll be swimming by personally to deliver the new t-shirts for the event and to be on the bike ride. Thanks for your time, and I can't wait to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, Remy. we got our bikes ready, so we'll definitely.
Not electric, is it?
I gotta borrow
October
one.
26th.
It's not electric.
Don't
bike,
need no
is
electric bikes.
What do you mean? It's a hybrid. I pedal two and bike produces six.
Anybody else from the public? Which is to address the board, seeing none. Bring it back to the board. Presentations, proclamations, and appointments. During this segment of the agenda, board members may discuss the presentations and proclamations and may advance appointments to the Yuma County Planning and Zoning Commission and the Yuma Board of Adjustments. No legal action will be taken. Any appointments?
No.
Okay, item number 1. Proclaim, yes.
Are we available, are we aware of any vacancies right now on any of the boards for appointment? I don't think that we have anything, do we?
Maybe Parks and Rec.
We'll find out. Yeah. Can we get an update on that? See-
Yeah, I'm not aware that there are any vacancies on the Planning and Zoning or Board of Adjustment right now, but I'll confirm that.
Okay. Move on to item number 1.
But there is not, so we're
Okay.
good.
Chairman proclaims the week of October 6th to the 12th, 2024 to be 4-H week in Yuma County. And Supervisor Lynn will read the proclamation, and then we'll have the speakers up here.
Okay, can I have Isabella Figueroa, Melania Jerome, Kaylin Larson, James Rodney, Gage Sullivan, Lauren Sullivan, and Kaylee Toulouse come stand up here for me, please? Turn around and look at everybody else. And then I'm going to read the proclamation. Thank you. I know, former teacher, I'm sorry. It's just how it works, guys. Okay. They don't want to see my face. They want to see their faces. Okay, proclaiming the week of October 6th to the 12th, 2024 as 4-H week in Yuma County. Whereas Yuma County is proud to honor the University of Arizona Extension 4-H Youth Development Program for providing exceptional educational programs to the youth in our community and throughout Arizona. And whereas 4-H, as part of the Extension Service, is a program where youth learn through opportunities that provide hands-on experience, living the motto, learning by doing. And whereas for 122 years, 4-H has served America's young people to make the best better, and is now the nation's largest youth development organization. The 4-H idea is simple: help young people and their families gain knowledge and skills to reach their full potential, to improve their communities and quality of life. And whereas each of the 4 H's on the clover represent ways youth can grow and develop in 4-H. The first H stands for head, a critical thinking and problem solving. The second H stands for heart, for self-discipline, integrity, and communication. The third H stands for hand, serving others. And the fourth H is for health and for choosing healthy lifestyles. And whereas 4-H could not have accomplished what it already has without the service of its volunteer leaders, who have given generously of their time, talents, energies, and resources to our youth. Therefore, the Yuma County Board of Supervisors proclaimed the week of September 20th through the 24th, 2024 as as 4-H week in Yuma County. And urge the people of this community to recognize 4-H for the significant impact they have made and continue to make by empowering youth with the skills they need to lead for a lifetime. Will you do the 4-H pledge for everyone, please?
taking my heart to greater loyalty, my hands for larger service, and my heart for love, my community, my country, and my world.
Thank you.
Are we gonna say anything else?
Yes,
Or-
Miss Amy's going to say something.
They're gonna,
They're going to say something. Okay, stay up there, guys. Or why don't you all get over there?
Ooh.
Yeah.
do
Oh, cool.
Good morning. My name is JT Rodney. I'm part of Yuma County 4-H, and on the behalf of the Yuma County Ambassadors team, I would like to thank all of you for your continued support of 4-H. The rest of the team would like to introduce themselves.
I'm Gabe Sullivan. I'm a junior at Gila Ridge.
Wait. Get in front of the microphone before you talk. Thank you.
Listen to the teacher.
I'm Lauren Sullivan, and I'm a junior at Gila Ridge. My name is Isabella Figueroa, and I'm a senior at Yuma Catholic High School.
My name is Blake Johnson. I'm a junior at Gila Ridge.
My name is Miliani Jerome, and I am a junior at Yuma Catholic.
My name is Callie Talou, and I'm a junior at Gila Ridge.
All right. Thank you.
Nice, thank you.
Okay. Picture.
Back up.
Come
Oh.
on. You wanna?
Okay.
You can go down there.
No, that's okay. You hold it or they hold it? Okay. Yeah, you're off center. See, Amy's like me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then one this way, please.
Yeah, I can't. Kids are tall.
Thank you, guys.
I want to
Thanks,
shake
guys.
their hands. Hold on.
Thanks for the goodie bag.
Oh, good. We'll do it this way. Nice to
Good to see you guys again.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you. Did I pronounce your name right? What is it?
Miliani.
Oh, Miliani. Okay, good. Anybody else I mess up?
Mine's Callie Talou.
Callie. Oh, you're a Talou.
Yeah.
Which Talou do you belong to?
All of them, but my dad's Vaughn Talou.
All right. Okay.
You need to write that on the board 100 times.
What, their name?
Their names.
I know. That's okay.
Moving on to item
Like the first day of school.
number 2. Chairman proclaims the month of October 2024 to be Cybersecurity Awareness Month in Yuma County. And we have Supervisor Lyons reading the
Thank you,
proclamation.
Mr. Chairman. Proclaiming the month of October 2024 as Cyber Security Awareness Month in Yuma County. In an increasingly digital world, the need for public awareness of cybersecurity has never been more paramount. Fostering a culture of cybersecurity requires collective vigilance and proactive action from every individual, organization, and institution. Resilient cybersecurity is not the responsibility of a select few, but a shared commitment by all citizens to protect our digital lives, data, and infrastructure from escalating threats. Cybersecurity Awareness Month 2024 provides an opportunity to recognize and honor the vital contributions of Yuma County information technology professionals and all who work tirelessly to safeguard our digital world. Therefore, the Yuma County Board of Supervisors proclaimed the month of October 2024 to be Cybersecurity Awareness Month in Yuma County and encourage all Yuma County residents to stay informed, adopt best practices, and contribute to a secure, resilient, and safe digital environment for future generations.
Thank you, Mr. Lyons. And we have
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, county administration, Jesus Cervantes, Deputy Chief Information Officer. This is the 4th year that Yuma County celebrates National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and every year we grow our program by leaps and bounds. I remember the first year was when Yuma County first established its cybersecurity program. It was kind of a small experiment that turned out to be an awesome program that grew and keeps growing. I know when I've been up here in the past, I always joke that we are number 3 in the state when it comes to our programs, but we are slowly gaining traction. And one day, going back to Supervisor Lyons' question, what does it take to be number 1? We are working on it, and hopefully I will come up here and be like, we're finally up there. But nonetheless, we do have some representation from our different county IT departments, because Yuma County is composed of not only central IT, but we have Sheriff's Office, Information Technology Services, Library District, and courts. We all work collectively to not only maintain our systems, but provide security to make sure that nothing is out of place and out of I guess for lack of a better term, out of whack, right? Using kind of your new age type of terms. But nonetheless, I want to thank the board for all the support. We wouldn't be able to keep growing our program and making sure that we are not only providing the proper technologies, but personnel, and also being fiscally responsible with the monies that we get. With that being said, I had our IT security administrator who has a few words with Christina Brumley.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christina Brumley. I'm the security administrator for Yuma County. I just want to thank you for the support you provided us in proclaiming this month as National or Cybersecurity Awareness Month for Yuma County. We've given you a few little gift bags of the items we'll be giving out to staff later this month. For this month, we do have 4 optional trainings once per week through the Know Before platform. We also have 2 presentations that will be taking place at the library on the 23rd and the second one on the 30th. We're notifying staff through email through those. And then following Cybersecurity Month, we will be giving staff awards with the items that we've given you, and just different kind of participation awards, and for those that were cyber alert throughout the last year.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
All your team?
Yes.
Are they going to explain what they do? No? Okay. All right, IT.
Here's your proclamation.
And let's see what that says.
Check in the mail.
Yeah.
Cyber security.
Okay.
It's okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Appreciate all you
Nice
guys.
to meet you. You guys are the ones we never get to see, but we depend on you all the time.
Thank you.
You remind me to change my password.
I have to tell you,
I got 8 days.
they got me once on a cyber thingy with big sale. I clicked on it and they go, "Oh, we got you." I learned real quick not to.
Moving on to item number 3, Chairman proclaims October 2024 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Yuma County, and Supervisor Simmons will read the proclamation.
Proclaiming the month of October 2024 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Yuma County. Whereas October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy and dignity, security, and humanity due to systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse, including abuse to children and the elderly. And whereas anyone can be a victim of domestic violence regardless of age, sex, ability, ethnicity, sexual orientation, social economic status, or religion. And whereas the impact of domestic violence is wide-ranging, directly affecting individuals and society as a whole in this community throughout the United States and the world. And whereas only a coordinated community effort will put a stop to the terrible crime. And whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an opportunity for citizens to learn more about preventing domestic violence and to show support for the numerous organizations and individuals who provide critical advocacy, services, and assistance to the victims. Therefore, the Yuma County Board of Supervisors proclaimed the month of October 2024 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Yuma County in recognition of the victims of domestic violence and those who serve them during this month and throughout the year.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. And Gabriela.
Good morning, Chairman, Portas, members of the board. Eva Salazar, Chairperson for the Victims' Rights Committee, and also the Director of Victim Services with the Yuma County Attorney's Office. I'm happy to accept this proclamation on behalf of all members of the committee. This year, we will hold a vigil as part of the Domestic Violence Awareness Month on Thursday, October 24th from 5:30 to 6:30. The event will take place outdoors at the Centennial Heritage Area at the Yuma County Main Library. There will be speakers, music, light refreshments, and informational booths. The event will provide us the opportunity to recognize the need for all in our community to step up and support not only victims of domestic violence, but also those who support and advocate for such victims as well. At this time, I would like to welcome several committee members in attendance to receive the proclamation with me.
You want to bring him, or we bring him up over?
Everybody up there. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Let's get comfortable.
All right.
Picture first.
Oh, great. There you go.
Yes, proclamation.
You can't keep it.
Telling the teacher what to do?
1, 2, 3.
Thank you guys for all you do.
Okay, yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
You're not slipping away that easy.
Mr. Chairman, while everybody's finding their place, just to let the folks know that as a nation, this is our 31st year of this acknowledgement. It started back in 1989 in October.
Yes. And didn't you have something to do with it, John? Getting
How
that
long have you
started?
been here, John?
Hold on.
I'm not that old. Okay. Just check. I know Tony remembers, but.
1939 was it?
I was just getting ready to start law school about then.
Okay.
Or maybe I wasn't. in law school.
Good morning,
Good
all of
morning.
you.
Good morning.
I won't take long, but I just wanted to acknowledge and thank you all for the support. I'm Estrella Fitch. For many years, I was a victim advocate in the forefront, so I have a lot of respect for advocacy. And I worked under John Smith, and it was the best experience ever. From then, I opened the healing journey as CEO and founder. But domestic violence is real. I see it not in the court like I used to. We see the aftermath when they come into our agency, broken and afraid, and their children have witnessed it. But we provide such wonderful therapy. But shout out to Mr. John Smith for that, because we met one day when we were trying to figure out what to do for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I'll never forget it. We came across, let's do a vigil. And I don't know if he remembers that. I do. Let's toss balloons. What do you think, Estrella? And I go, great idea. Now, it became the balloon launch where they wrote the name of that person that was a victim, and they let it go. And that's what we need to focus on, helping them to let it go and forefront. So it's been an honor working in this field and seeing how advocacy is so essential. And I wanted to thank you, John. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Estrella.
You know, a shout out and a special thanks to all those groups, agencies that provide that support, to other people that help the family, the victims, their friends. Thank you. It's hard when someone's going through that, and having someone there to support them. That is great. Thank you. we'll move on to the mix, Yuma County by Yuma 77. Are we having it? Yeah.
Welcome to the Mix. Time is running out to register for the November presidential election. Voters must register by October 7, 2024. Early ballots, including a 2-page format for candidates and measures, will be mailed out starting October 9th. Both pages must be completed and returned to ensure votes are counted. Voters can drop off the early ballots at designated drop box locations, by mail, or even in person at the recorder's office. For registration details and additional voting information, residents can visit yumacountyaz.gov/vote. The Yuma County Sheriff's Office urges families to prioritize safety this Halloween. Ensure costumes fit properly and include reflective materials for visibility. Children should carry a flashlight, use sidewalks, and cross at crosswalks. Attending local events is a great way to stay safe and avoid Halloween traffic. Parents should accompany younger children, check candy, and only visit homes with porch lights on.
If you're going to be driving, just be careful to be aware of the kids that might be in the streets, walking or running. Drive slowly if you can, and just be aware of kids, possibly going in front of you, to avoid any type of incidents happening.
Increased patrols will be in place to ensure a safe, enjoyable evening for all. It's time now to toss it over to Oscar to take a closer look at the Treasurer's Office, where he'll give us an inside look at how they handle everything from property taxes to public funds.
Okay, Arlene, I'm back at it again here with the behind-the-scenes exclusive look into Yuma County Treasurer's Office. To learn more about the Treasurer's Office today, I'm speaking with Angela Moreno, who is our Yuma County Treasurer. Hi, Angela, how are you?
Hi, Oscar. Thank you. I'm great. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving us an access into your special office here. I'm interested to find out, what does the Treasurer's Office do for our community?
We do a lot. We act as like a county bank, and we collect taxes, we invest that, and we make sure that all the departments and taxing authorities get what they have asked for in their tax bill, and we distribute all the funds, and we keep all the money safe.
That's fabulous. As I walk in here, it really does look like a bank. So you take in people's taxes, people come in here and pay. What are some of the methods that me as a community member could do to pay my taxes?
Oh, okay, that's great. So I mail a tax bill out every September. And in September, you have 2 choices to pay. You can pay November 1st and May 1st, or you can pay the whole thing in December. We accept all kinds of different ways to pay. You can do it on your smartphone. We have a QR code on the tax bill. We're here. We welcome you to come in, pay with cash or check, and online. So there's lots of easy ways to pay.
That's perfect. So I know that paying your taxes can be intimidating. Sometimes you don't know if you could fit the bill. So it sounds like you have a lot of options for community members to use in order to fulfill their tax bills.
Absolutely. We want the customers, our taxpayers, to understand that where your taxpayer money is going. All your schools, they work hard, and that's where the money is going. You need to call 911. That's where part of that money is going. That is where all of your safety dollars are going. And so you pay into the community and you get out what you need from this community.
If community members or myself has questions, final questions or concerns, how can we contact you?
Well, we are open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can visit our website, or you're more than welcome to call us at 928-539-7781.
Thank you so much, Angela. That was amazing. We appreciate the VIP access into your office. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Arlene, community members, there you have it. Another exclusive VIP access into the Yuma County Treasurer's Office. Back to you.
Thank you, Oscar, for that important information. Before we go, Yuma County's Health Zone is inviting residents age 18 and older to join a 9-week program aimed at fostering community leadership. Participants will enhance their leadership skills while developing a community improvement project. The program includes weekly 2-hour sessions and a curriculum designed to empower individuals to make positive changes in their communities.
We lead residents through community engagement. They learn crime prevention through environmental design. They learn about food systems.
That's a wrap, huh?
Technical difficulties.
That ended it.
Got that one on quick.
Technical problems there, that's.
It'll look better.
Oh.
Thank you. Yes. Move on to consent calendar. The following items listed under the consent agenda will be considered as a group and acted upon by one motion with no separate discussion unless a board member so requests. In that event, the item will be removed from consent calendar for separate discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull 14, 15, and 16.
14.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve everything else.
Hold on.
But 14, 15, and 16.
Good. Which one?
14, 15, and 16.
14, 15, and 16. And then on item number 6, can we continue that one for next and so we can get a little bit more information on that?
You got it. You'll do.
We'll remove it. Item number 6.
Chairman, just pull it and then you can do
Or
it.
we can pull it.
Yeah, pull it. and
Okay.
do your consent.
All right, I'd like to pull item number 6. Okay, so
So the motion will read, pulling item 16, 6, 14, 15, and 16, and approve the rest of them as presented.
I'll second that.
there's a motion and a second to approve consent calendar without items 6, 14, 15, and 16. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so item number 6, can we continue it for next meeting?
Yes, sir. We'll do.
All right. Item number 14.
Mr. Chairman, it just looks like we're going out of town and buying more vehicles again. I just wanted a better understanding to make sure that it wasn't available here, even if it was offered on a state contract.
You want to say 14, 15, 16? here.
16 they're buying here.
I know.
Yeah.
So
But I
we
just want to lump them as an
discuss.
example. They did purchase those here, but we're spending $350 outside.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm Kelly Fricky, Public Works Director. We went out to bid and we had 3 vendors submit their bids. And the Sands was the high, was the best bidder. They were the successful bidder for the highest.
And we had local bidders?
Pardon me?
And we had local bidders?
We had 1 local bidder. We had Alexander Ford. And some of their vehicles, they could not commit to honoring the price after September 12th. So, and then on many of the vehicles, they were not the successful bidder.
And the same thing for 15?
15 was
Four-wheel drive.
the Ford Rangers.
Yeah.
Santan was the successful bidder on those as well.
They couldn't, our locals couldn't meet the price?
Our locals couldn't meet the price, or I
No,
mean.
they could not.
Okay.
They could not meet the price. And they could not honor the price after September 12th on many of them.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Kelly, can you tell me how Santan Ford did commit to the price after September 12th? And,
Correct.
okay, and our locals couldn't?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
I just wanted to.
Supervisor Reyes?
The question was, Alexander handles Chevys? Is it Chapman or Alexander that handles Chevy? So they bid on the Chevy trucks?
Yes, they did.
They couldn't hold it beyond September.
Alexander bid on
Ford's.
on the Ford Escapes.
Yeah, Ford.
Chapman built on the bid on the Chevys.
Okay, so that's, I thought Alexander was a Ford dealer and Chapman's the Chevy dealer. So when
Chapman did not bid this year.
it was Chapman.
No.
Oh, they didn't bid.
I think that the key to this item and the key to the discussion here is that we're trying to see if it's possible to have the local bidders bid on these items, and if it's close enough that they would deliver them in time and so forth, they would be chosen. I think that's the point, isn't it?
Yes.
Which there were, it was
If
good.
they weren't,
Yeah.
they were given a chance if they weren't. Okay.
Thanks for clarifying.
And they're all invited, just so you know that they are all invited to bid, and we just didn't receive bids for the other dealers
Okay,
locally.
thank you. Appreciate it, Kelly. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve 14, 15, and 16 as presented.
And I just want to know, I appreciate your commitment to supporting our local businesses, and I share the same appreciation. And I'm pleased that one dealer locally was successful, so.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to approve items 14, 15, 16 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Move on to discussion and action items. Item number 1, discuss and possible action to provide direction on the current fiscal year 24 regional account, community development block grant, CDBG applications. Diana? Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Diana Villalobos, Community Planning Administrative Director. I'm here today to have a discussion with you all regarding our community development block grant regional account. Back in May, you all ranked projects, and the top 3 went over. We did applications. They went over to the Arizona Department of Housing. What is happening now is that with the Avenue B and C Ferguson Lateral, we're having cost issues. The budget for that is $176,000, $162,000. That's our budget for that project. And we've gotten quotes just for the final design of that project. They range all the way from $196,000 to about $80,000 for final design. And then there was another twist to this for the environmental, which SHPO normally doesn't require any kind of surveys on that area. Now they're requiring a cultural survey, and we did request a couple of quotes on that, and that is high as well. So here to.
How much higher? What are you looking at altogether?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Reyes.
How much higher? What is the amount you're looking at expending more than what we set aside?
So right now, just for the final design and for the environmental itself, we're looking at spending the entire budget of $176,000.
So this will get us the design and everything is ready, would be ready.
Yes.
So you're asking us whether we stick with that, knowing that we'll only get to that far. And then we'll go out to bid later on with other funds and see if we can finish the project. But we do need those items to begin with, right?
Yes, we do need the planning and the environmental before we can go into construction for this.
I say we stick to that plan and have it ready in case we can secure the funds some other way so we can get it done. Because if you.
What was the construction cost on that? What were we looking at roughly?
So right now, Avenue B and C Canal Engineering is doing that project, and the last time I spoke to Frank, he's looking at a little bit more than $500,000, almost $600,000 just for the construction, not counting his planning and environmental for that project.
And I think opportunity knocks only when you're ready. So if we have an opportunity to get some funds, we can get that done. Otherwise, if we don't have the plans, the set of plans and the environmental and the cultural, we won't have any chance.
Of getting it done.
So we're short by how much?
Mr. Chairman, we're short $500,000. And grants is going to actively keep searching for grants to go ahead and move forward with that design. But those are competitive grants, but we are seeking them currently to see.
But we do have some money for it already.
We have a budget of 176,000, and that's for that will only cover the final design and the environmental for this project.
That puts us that much ahead of the game. You know, we can go, if we're looking for other grants, we can tell them, look, we've got design, we've got environmental, we're ready to go.
Yeah,
So,
we're shovel ready.
Yes, we can be shovel ready.
So you're asking us whether to continue with the project or to take it off the number approved?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Reyes, I'm asking you today to let's change the scope of work because the scope of work included construction. So let's change the scope of work only for environmental for final design, and we hold off on construction until we can get the additional funds and grant money.
So you're looking to continue applying for grants?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Grants is actively seeking that right now to cover the construction of this project.
You know, that area there, it's been neglected for the longest time. And I think it's time for the county to step up and either come up with the money somehow and start working on it. I mean, that area has been represented by 3 supervisors. So I think it's time and that the county does something, because that area there, we continue to wait for grants and it's very, very competitive. It's going to be a long time before we start doing something there. So, you know, like I said, CDBG money should be used for not only for a certain amount of people, 3 or 4, like we've done it before. I think it should go for areas that are specifically needed, much needed, and that many people can use it. It benefits, you know, a large portion of the county there. So if we continue going through this path, just waiting on grants, we'll be here for the longest time and not doing something for that area.
I beg to differ. We spent $18 million in that area, and that's the Colonia area.
But that was sewer. That was sewer.
But
This is, we've had a speaker here, a resident from that area for almost every meeting.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just, I get tired when, you know, when we just hear her complain or her concerns for the longest time and we don't seem to do anything. I'm just, you know, we need to.
how long would it take to get environmental and design and all that done?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Simmons, it's my understanding that it takes about 6 months to get that completed once we start the procurement process and
So
once we hire.
that's something we might be able to look at next budget, if we get all that done.
It'll take 6 months to
to get a
that part
project done, you need to do this preliminary work. And it's time is never on your side. So the commitment has been made that once you have the plans, we'll go look out for something, that we can get something done there. Because without those plans, you can't get anything done anyway. So using the money to get those plans ready, it's a step in the right direction for me. I know I'm the only one that's been here when the 3 supervisors representing that area have been here, but there's been continued work done in that area. I mean, I remember the lanes when they weren't paved, which is like in the 30s or 40s or something like that. But I remember there's been a lot of work in that area. I've seen it happen. It's been very, you know, unfortunately, what we're talking about is a trailer park that has been a sore spot for the county for the last few years that needs to have some work done. But like I said, opportunity only knocks once, and when it does, you have to be ready to take it. In this particular case, I think we all underestimated what it would take to do those improvements. I don't know how much money there is in CDBG, but I think it would have taken the whole budget of the CDBG this year to actually just to get that project done. So it's going to be, it's coming up as a top project, and I think the next step will be finding the funds to finish it up.
Well, I think if the county has the funds, either from reserves or the ARPA money, whatever, we need to start moving on that. That's just that area's been needing something there for the longest time, and I'm sorry, Mr. Reyes, but sewer is not gonna stop crying, or at least not help in that area. with the one.
I did canals.
But it's an example. What I mean is like anything that you set out to do is going to be millions of dollars in there.
Well, and
So it might not seem like an important thing right now, but at the time, that was what they needed. And to say that nothing's been done there by 3 supervisors before that is not really the truth. The truth is we've got an issue with the trailer park that has been there for, I mean, the issue's been up here for years, 2 or 3 or 4 years, but before that, it was water and sewer. So
I'm
saying
not
that we
sure.
haven't done anything doesn't meet the standard.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, Diana, is there any way we could, don't we get CBGD every year?
Every other year.
Every other year? Okay, never mind. I was hoping that we could use some CBGD the following.
Mr. Chairman,
Cycle.
Supervisor Pancrazi, we get the regional account CDBG every other year, but we do have the state special projects CDBG that we could apply for every year, which is sometimes $350,000 to $500,000 a year. This year, we chose to use it for Technopark. That's competitive. We don't know if, we did turn in the application. We don't know if it's successful or not.
For Techna.
Next year, we can come back
apply
to the
for
board
it,
and you all can choose to vote for applying for that as well.
Thank you.
Ms.
And in
Chairman.
the meantime, you'll be looking for other grants that
Additional
should be
funding.
paid for it.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I'm not done yet, sorry.
What did your husband say?
I
You
know,
always try to
I
get the
always
last
have
word?
the word.
Okay.
I always have to have the last.
I'm just
word.
kidding.
I do sometimes.
That's what
But-
she told me. She said, just remind me of that every now and then.
I know.
Mr. Chairman, can we get an update on the ARPA funds? Do we have anything remaining?
Well, we moved it. We
Yeah.
do, but it's for the Orange Grove project.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Lyons, just to let you know, meeting in December, I will be coming back with an ARPA fund update for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, you could go ahead and approve, what you have already, and then if you wanted to bring it back for consideration of some contingency funds to move this project forward, or Supervisor Simmons said to, the timing might work out to head into the next budget year to appropriate funds from the general fund at that point, or, in the meantime, of course, Diana and her team will continue to look for grant resources.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to let people know that with the work of the Butterfly Coalition and Gail, we do have, we did a traffic study down there, and Fifth Street is going to get speed bumps because people go as fast as 96 miles an hour down Fifth Street. And yes, from Fifth Street, from Avenue B to Avenue C, because it's a thoroughfare. And so the traffic study showed that we can justify putting in speed bumps in there. And so one gentleman had his mailbox hit 3 times, so he painted it bright orange so that nobody would hit it anymore and knock it over. So, but we continue to work, and Ben is in the process of tearing down all those trees. So, the fire safety.
My whole point here is we're trying to beautify that area.
Yes, we do.
Make it nicer in that area.
Yes.
But not me saying that it hasn't been done, nothing has been done in that area.
Okay.
No, it has. But underground, it ain't gonna, it's something that you can't see will not help to beautify, so that area. And I think if we start getting some lights, a pathway.
Recreational
sidewalk,
areas,
recreation
yeah.
area there, it'll help that area, I think, a lot. So we need to start to investing in that area. And, every other year we get the CDBG money, and staff always comes with money for rehabilitation, 2 or 3 houses. I'm saying right now, I won't approve. I'll vote no from now on when I see CDBG money going to those. That money should be going for areas that are neglected, and if it needs to be called abandoned or whatever the name we have, we need to start putting money in the areas that are sidewalks, that a lot of people will use lights or wine in the street, but I will vote no on any other rehab for houses or ACs, whatever.
Mr. Chairman, as a former resident of Dan Mobile Home Park number 5 until I was 11 years old, I would like to see us move things forward and commit some effort to fixing that area.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, just a quick reminder, some of those grants, especially the Colonia set-aside, does have requirements and parameters that we have to meet. Housing, sewer, and water is the only thing that is allowed with that grant. The Arizona Department of Housing does have its guidelines as well. Their top ranking is housing. So those are some of the requirements that we have to meet. If we don't have a sewer project or a water project, that's why we choose housing for some of those grants.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, Diana, the band trailer park has a lift. It doesn't have sewer. So if it ever gets, something else happens to it and things work out, that there's a sewer project right there.
All right. So we'll,
Where are we at? What do we need?
we need to continue just for, that's the motion for.
Item number 1?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we continue item number 1 as presented. Discuss some possible action to the 24 regional account community development block grant application.
Second it.
There's a motion and a second to continue item number 1 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 2, grants. And we have approved. We have approved Yuma County as the Yuma Coalition's Brownfield Grant Application Lead Agency for fiscal year 2025 Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, fiscal year 25 Brownsville Assessment Grants. Item number B, authorize Yuma County to apply for the EPA fiscal year 25 Brownsville Assessment Grant on behalf of Yuma Brownsville Coalition. And C, approve the county to enter into a coalition agreement with partner agencies to form the Yuma Brownfield Coalition and authorize the chairman to sign a formal agreement contingent upon legal review and approval.
That's a mouthful.
Better.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you. As a member of the Yuma Coalition, Jerry Cabrera, Elevate Southwest, and I think we have the city of Yuma. I don't know if it could be, Madeline's over there. Doesn't see Madeline. I just want to give you a little update of where we're at with the Brownsfield Coalition, and actually it was a good segue as far as the current conversation just occurred in terms of the blighted areas that we're looking at. So as far as the current is that, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on where we're at, the timelines, and obviously some success stories and what are the next steps for the next couple of years. Obviously, I'm going to go through these pretty quick because these are, you've seen these before as well, as far as what is Brownfield and where we're at this point. There's about 450,000 areas that need to be looked at in terms of debilitated areas or blighted areas in the U.S. and Brownfields is a great way to use those funds. Actually, right now we actually used. We'll go through those. We used actually Welton, San Luis, and here downtown area, and that was about $600,000 that we used. Obviously, we used $300 for the environmental, the area-wide planning, cleanup, and reuse. As you can see the numbers there as far as the $600,000 and how that was used in the last couple of years. So these are the areas that we looked at. Because Yuma County was part of that coalition, we can actually expand the area, but now the grant actually, they made some changes to it, but now we're trying to engage for Yuma County to be the lead. We looked at obviously downtown areas, including the crossing heritage areas. San Luis, we did a phase 1 and a phase 2, and then we also did Welton as well. We did a phase 1 there, environmental, historical. We didn't do any boring at that point, not the funds weren't there yet. We were almost done with those funds. The timelines from 2012 to 2024. This is kind of, I don't want to go through this whole thing because we already have gone through it. We did a couple of brownfields grant these last couple of years, obviously 10 years. And where we're at this point is looking at making sure that some of those areas are cleaned up, if you will, because usually we do find something. So as soon as we clean them up, obviously there's areas to clean up in terms of putting commercial and or other type of commercial properties that can be in those areas for economic development. We did a couple of kickoffs and community engagements here in Yuma, obviously, and San Luis, Arizona as well. We looked at the solid eligibility determination, site analysis, historical views, and of course, phase 2 is the sampling and the boring as well. We're also obviously looking at the area-wide planning for downtown area in terms of what science and tech parks we want to bring down in the area, including other commercial properties, entertainment, plan and zoning, and obviously parks and recreation areas, hotels and whatnot for downtown area. And let me go through these are the areas that we looked at for San Luis, the San Luis Fleet Shop and the conceptual plan that they have down on Cesar Chavez as well. What are the next steps? This is where kind of I don't want to make it too long because there were 22 slides. I'm going to cut those.
Tony.
Tony, I'm waiting for your comment on.
I'm not going to make any comment yet.
Hey, by the way, Chairman Reyes is board member of Elevate Southwest. So I want to do. So for this one, there were some changes that were done, and the Yuma Coalition would want now for Yuma County to be the lead. And why? Because that covers more area, not just necessarily some of the areas, but Yuma County being the lead, we can look at more areas that the county and Diane or Alejandro can look at that might be areas that can be done as far as environmental, making sure that there's areas that we can kind of look at. So this year, the grant increase double the size of that from 600 to 1.2 million. So it's a huge increase from where it was. But we do need the county's lead on this to make sure we cover more area than other just downtown area or small areas of San Luis as well, or Somerton and or Welton. So we want to cover the whole county as well. Obviously, the grant is due here by November 14th, and the drawdowns, if we do get the grant, will be 2025. So it's another year from now. That's usually federal grants work. And it's a 4-year cycle. So this is where we're at this point. And I don't know if you have any questions for the city of Yuma as far as the grants management, but a couple of success stories, at least you'll see ones from Wyoming in terms of the amount of millions of dollars that get invested and companies come down. We do have several here success stories in Yuma County. I worked on 2 of them, as a matter of fact. One in Somerton where we actually, we removed lead from that area. And now they're classrooms, and I think we ended up employing about 100 people at that time, including now that there's students there. So it's a huge investment using grants, especially when they're available for us to use.
You want to say something?
I have a question. What do you want the county
To be the lead, lead agency.
and what does that lead agency, what will the requirements be?
Madeline, you want to answer some of these questions?
We'll apply for.
We're applying for the grant is just to lead the grants management portion of it.
Okay. Well,
Good morning, Madeline Coyle. I'm the grants administrator for the City of Yuma and been part of the previous coalition grant. And our role between myself and the CIP manager in the engineering department, working closely with all the coalition members, have managed identifying the locations for assessment and meeting with the consultant that was selected to work on the project, keeping them on task and ourselves on task. In terms of grant management within the City of Yuma, myself and the CIP manager worked closely with the consultant on the different reporting requirements, financial as well as programmatic, and it's been pretty seamless, not too much of a burden for us to take on that responsibility, having that consultant who has that expertise in brownfields assessment to work with us to get that done. So I think the grant requirements at this time require a municipality can no longer be the lead. It has to be a county, or there was another stipulation too, but the city can no longer be the lead as the applicant. So that's one of the reasons why the impetus for this change. Not that the city was like, wait, no, we don't want to lead this anymore or anything, or that it's been too much of a burden. No, it's a requirement of the grant.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Those are the questions.
And for the coalition, actually, we added San Luis, Arizona. San Luis, Arizona is going to be part of the coalition as well.
And is Somerton a part of the
Well, with Yuma County being part, it covers Somerton and Welton.
Okay.
Supervisor Reyes?
Well, it's truly an effort to broaden up the coalition's impact, so I appreciate it. I know, you know how sensitive we are to just doing things in Yuma, so doing things in Welton, doing things in San Luis, doing things in Somerton, it's important to all of us.
Correct.
So this is just a move to broaden its impact.
Yeah.
And to be able to get funds from different locations in the county.
I agree.
Mr.
Sounds
Chair,
like a plan.
Any other
You just
questions?
have a question?
No, go for it.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Yuma County as the coalition's Brownfield Grant Application Lead Agency for 2025, Environmental Protection Agency FY25, Brownfield Assessment Grants.
And I'll second it.
And then B,
And B,
authorize.
Yuma County to apply for the EPA 2025 Brownfield Assessment Grants on behalf of the Yuma Brownfield Coalition. And C, approve the county to enter into a coalition agreement and partner with agencies to form a Yuma Brownfield Coalition, authorize the chairman to sign a formal agreement contingent upon legal review and approval. And maybe find some money for.
Is there a
the
second?
wellness.
Second motion.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cabrera. Mr. Reyes is happy that you kept those slides short.
And the discussion to brief.
I'll go ahead and recess the Yuma County Board of Supervisors and convene as the Yuma County Board of Equalization. The Board of Equalization discussion calendar, sitting as the Yuma County Board of Equalization. The board will open each of the following items separately for discussion and action. We'll do item number 1.
Is there a phone silent?
Somebody's buzzing.
Somebody's buzzing. Are we getting a phone call from the petitioner? Yeah.
Action regarding petition for review of real property valuation for Chapman Yuma LLC properties, assessors parcel numbers 695-37-034, 695-37-036, 695-36002, 695-36003, 695-36004, and 695-36-005, filled by Jody Bain.
Morning.
Morning.
Ma'am, gentlemen. Chairman Porcias, hi, my name is Alan. I'm a coworker here, Ricardo, from the Yuma County Assessor's Office. We're here to go ahead and present, it's multiple parcels. It's well, first of all, it's a Chapman Chrysler, which consists of 4 different parcels. And we have Chapman Chevrolet, which is 2 different parcels. We have been speaking with the representative, which is Ms. Jody. I don't want to speak on behalf of her. We have been in constant communication, and it seems that we have reached an agreement about this as well. I'm just going to go ahead and read the numbers for that. For parcel 695-36002, which is the main parcel for Chevy Chrysler, where the main dealership consists, we have a notice of value of $6,439,532. We, as the assessor, recommend a full cash value reduction of $5 million, which is the total amount for the new full cash of $5,856,737. Second parcel, which is 695-36003. Notice of value came in at $102,902, and we recommend a reduction of $53,512. Parcel 695-36004. Notice of value of 900,000, 158. We, with the assessor, recommend a reduction of 453,337. Final parcel for the Chapman Chrysler, parcel 695-36005. Notice of value came in 140,000. We, with the assessor, recommend a reduction for new full cash of 69,000 for this one.
For Chapman Chevrolet, it has two parcels. The first parcel is the main one, the 695-37036. The notice of value for tax year 2025, it was $6,357,638, and we reduced that value to $5,945,906. That was a reduction. And for parcel 695-37034, we had a notice of value for tax year 2025 for $2,841,265, and we made a reduction for $2,829,739. Yeah, that's our recommendation, that reduction of the value. And Ms. Jody Bain here, she's a representative of Chapman. I believe she's agree with the values.
You want to come up?
I'm waiting for direction. Good morning, I'm Jody Bain. I just came to say thank you. We've been working with the assessing office and Miss Lisa since May. And I came out of respect for the process, and we've done multiple site visits and talked about cost and income and market sales, and it's been a continuing education class. So I'm here if you have any questions, but your team summed it up.
So are you okay with their recommendation or what?
Yes, what we talked about. And I also heard earlier that Chapman did not bid on something, so I'm going to take it back as a side comment and say, where are we? What happened in the Board of Supervisors was there for you, so what's going on? So.
All right.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
The motion would be to approve the recommended evaluations. The evaluations are recommended by the staff.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to uphold the assessor's decision or evaluation of the real properties. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll go ahead and adjourn as the Yuma County Board of Equalization and reconvene as the Yuma County Board of Supervisors and move on to item planning and zoning agenda items, expedited rezoning and public hearings, item number 1. Well, these items will be open as a group for public hearing and acted upon by one motion to adopt the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission, except for any item that is removed by the board member for separate consideration. That item will be discussed and acted upon separately following action on expedited items. And I know we have
Two items, right, on expedited?
Unless it's not.
One of them is a site, it's a substation,
Yeah.
which is easy. None of this is too controversial, is it? There have been no letters of opposition or anything on this? The other ones, right? The other ones on the plate. Oh, sorry, I should be asking you guys. There's nothing new, nothing particular in this.
Chairman Jesus Carrillo. No, these items on the expedited we don't have any oppositions on it.
Okay.
Need to open it up for public?
Okay, then that's all the questions we have. I'll go ahead and open it up to the public. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve expedited rezoning applications number 24-11 and 24-06.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to approve rezoning case number 2411 and special use permit case number 2406. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to rezoning and public hearing items. Item number 1, minor amendment, case number 24-03.
Mr. Chairman, can you also open item number 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Okay, so I'll go ahead and.
Fall into that too?
And open.
Number 6 is a
Different, okay,
Oh,
so
okay,
I'll go
across
ahead
the
and
street.
open item number 2, rezoning case number 24-10, and item number 3, rezoning case number 2412. Item number 4, rezoning case number 24-13, and item number 5, rezoning case number 24-14.
And there's one more.
You gonna make a presentation or do you just ask questions?
Mr. Chairman, would like a presentation?
Tony wants a PowerPoint.
A short presentation, go ahead.
Yes, PowerPoint.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jesus Carrillo, Senior Planner, presenting minor amendment case number 2403. The request is to change the land use designation of the east 458 feet of parcel, approximately 15.8 acres in size, from regional commercial to low-density residential. The property is located in the Foothills Plan area, southwest corner of Foothills Boulevard in County 10.5 Street. And the intent is to accommodate the rezoning of the subject property from rural area, 10 acres minimum, low-density residential, 600 square foot minimum, medium-density residential, and local commercial to low-density residential, 8,000 square foot minimum parcel sizes.
One question before you move on. The reason you have the minor amendment is to be able to approve the other ones. If we don't approve the minor amendment, the other ones become moot.
Mr. Chairman,
One.
if you look at this slide, this is the vicinity map of the parcel that the portion that is being amended, which is in the crosshatch. And the entire parcel, it's outlined in red with highlighted in yellow. The rest of it, the parcel, it already supports the zoning that is being proposed. So that's the only portion that is being amended from regional commercial to this is the vicinity map. So your property has with the crosshatch. Staff received 38 letters and 8 petitions signed by 48 residents in opposition to the request, for a total of 86. 0 letters within 200 foot notification area. Received comment from MCIS, ADOT, and Department of Defense.
Does it require a supermajority? Or are they all next to it? No? Just the area in general.
Planning Commission recommends approval on the basis that the proposed change will not have an adverse impact on the natural environment or the scenic quality for the area in contradiction to the plan. The proposed change is compatible with the adjoining land use designation directly to the south. The proposed project will not require public expenditures for infrastructure improvements. Moving forward, 27 case number 2410. This is a request to rezone a parcel 37.5 acres in size from rural area, 10 acres minimum, low density residential, 600 square foot minimum, medium density residential, and local commercial to low density residential square foot minimum. The property is located in the Foothills Planning area, southwest corner of Foothills Boulevard in County 10.5 Street, Yuma, Arizona, and intends to develop residential subdivision with lots of at least 8,000 square feet in size. This is the parcel that is being amended and being rezoned entirely. It's outlined in yellow with outlined in red, highlighted in yellow. Staff received 38 letters and 8 petitions signed by 48 residents in opposition to the request, for a total of 86. Several duplicates, 0 letters within 200 foot notification area, and comments received from MCIS.
Duplicates meaning petitions and.
The letters are being duplicated only.
Okay, thank you.
MCIS, ADOT, and Department of Defense provided comments. And this is the entire site plan, entire development. Highlighted in yellow is the location of the parcel. Moving forward, to rezoning case number 2412. And the request is to rezone a parcel 30 gross acres in size from rural area 10 acres minimum to low density residential 8,000 square foot minimum. Property is located in the Foothills Planning Area, northeast corner of County 10 and 3/4 Street alignment and Foothills Boulevard. And the intent is to develop residential subdivision of 8,000 square foot minimum parcel sizes. And this is the zoning map, property highlighted in yellow, it's the subject property is being requested to be rezoned. Staff received 33 letters and 2 petitions signed by 50 residents in opposition to the request for a total of 83, several duplicates. 1 letter within 300-foot notification area, which is with a X mark. The amount of opposition does not require do not trigger a supermajority vote from board supervisors and receive comment from MCIS, ADOT, Food Utility Company, Department of Defense. And this the entire site plan. Property highlighted in yellow is the planned development. Moving forward to rezoning case 2413. This is a rezoning to rezone for a parcel 40 gross acres in size from rural area 10 acres minimum, low density residential 6,000 square foot minimum, and medium density residential to low density residential 8,000 square foot minimum. Property located in the Foothills Planning Area adjacent to Mesa del Sol number 2 and approximately 0.25 miles north of North Frontage Road, Yuma. And the intent, once again, is to subdivide it to residential. This is the zoning map. Parcels with the crosshatch, highlighted in yellow. And this is the location. Staff received 38 letters and 8 petitions signed by the 48 residents in opposition to the request for a total of 86. 12 letters within the 300-foot notification area. They're marked with the red X on it. Moving forward to rezoning case number 2414. Same request to change it to R18. And property is located in the Mesa that's near east of Mesa del Sol number 4 and north of North Frontage Road. And this is the portion that is being requested to be rezoned only. The other portion is already zoned R16. And this is the site plan submitted. They have received 38 letters, 8 petitions signed by 48 residents opposing to the request. 11 letters within the 300-foot notification area. And both cases do not trigger supermajority vote. Planning and Zoning recommends approval of rezoning case number 2410, 2412, 2413, and 2414, and recommends attaching the following performance conditions for all rezoning cases. Within 60 days of approval by the Board of Supervisors, the owner agent shall record navigation and infrastructure arranged in the schedule for development disclosure statements. And for the schedule for development, within 10 years of Board of Supervisor approval, the filing and approval of the tentative map as a subdivision of parcel 701-20-001 into 6 or more lots shall be completed. A traffic impact analysis shall be completed in accordance with the Yuma County Public Works Standards, Volume 4, Section 4.5, during the tentative map review. Number 2, within 10 years of Board of Supervisor approval, all improvements required by the TI shall be completed in the time frame specified by traffic impact analysis. Those 2 conditions are the same for all rezoning cases. The only thing it changed is just the parcel number. And that concludes staff presentation.
Go ahead.
You couldn't help but noticing you have a 10-year supervisor approval of all improvements. Does that mean that you're thinking they're going to phase it out, or what is the thinking behind giving them so long to actually come up with the site plan?
For the condition, 10 years recommendation?
The schedule.
It's a big project. 10 years, I mean, in the past, staff has been recommended 3 years, 5 years, and then the request
Well, that's the biggest concern that I have with the application. It is a massive application of a lot of lots. And so Normally, when we ask them to come back with a plan for 2 or 3 years, we intend for that to happen relatively soon. The controversial part of this is that a lot of these people, this is part of it, the major part of it, it's already on zoning that was sort of like in the master plan. I mean, it's already zoned, or it's intended to be zoned for residential. So to me, the controversial part happens to be the timing. You're doing it all at one time. So it seems like, okay, you're gonna do all this stuff in less than, say, 2 or 3 years. That's a lot of development in 2 or 3 years, even if you have the right type of zoning. So to me, seeing that 10-year development notice, would have appreciated more of a plan. It's called a planned development, where you have sort of sections and you say, okay, well, I'm gonna do this in the next 3 years, and then I'm gonna do this in the other 3 years, and this. Because it seems to me like if you approve them all, you're basically saying, go ahead, which I think everybody in the foothills sort of realize that eventually, they're buying RV or small lots, or, small residential lots in the foothills. It's going to develop into something huge. And we already had this controversial hearing where we had this 500, it was a big development. This seems to be spread out a little bit, but I still would have liked to have seen it more like on a phase area, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, taking 10 years to do, because the concern is that you're going to flood those areas with development. I mean, that seems to me the main concern of all the applications. All the people that are complaining about changing their lifestyle and putting more cars on the road, putting more homes nearby, maybe even blocking their view of the mountains, which is not unusual to hear. Are there any washes on this area at all?
No.
No?
No.
There's no flooding.
But, so you're saying you want to see it done in 3 years, or not?
10 years is fine. As a matter of fact, I would have asked for that.
So that's what they're giving them, 10 years.
The problem seems to me that that's just a requirement up to 10 years. It's not a requirement that you take 10 years to do it. It's a requirement that you have 10 years to actually get the development plans in. I would have liked to have seen it in a planned development, a planned unit development, where you actually took, the zoning applied. You could apply right away, but the planning would have been set to 10 years, so it would happen slowly. It would have been easier. It would have at least taken care of some of the concerns that I'm sure that the neighborhood is reflecting. I mean, I see the development in that area, and it's pretty heavy. I mean, and some of those lots are pretty tiny, as far as I'm concerned. And we talk about affordable housing, but we don't want it in the backyard. So this is kind of one of those situations where I don't know what those people were expecting to happen in that area, but that area has always been designed or been planned to be very, very heavily inhabited. I pity the supervisor for that district, because I know the public pressure must be a lot to just not let it happen that fast, which I think is just normal for people to feel a sort of anxiety about how fast it's going to happen.
Mhm.
I just as a developer of properties, I can tell you that you can't build that fast.
Mr. Chair, I have a question. This is just the zoning, the rezoning. There still has to be approval for the infrastructure. And the developer has to provide all of that infrastructure. Am I correct?
Chairman, once they apply for subdivisions, they have to comply with all.
And you as planning and zoning have to approve each phase of their development, correct?
That will have to go through plans.
And we get to choose, we are responsible for what roads have to be put in, and you are, but I mean, we're the final approval of what the roads have to have. I'm doing this not for my own benefit, but for those people that are out there, so that people realize that this is just to rezone the property into residential 8,000 square foot lots. Now, after that, planning and zoning has a whole bunch of requirements that they're going to have to follow, part of which is the infrastructure that people are concerned about and the roads that people are concerned about, correct?
Correct.
That's all I wanted to make sure everybody knew. Not everybody knows that.
Not unless you have additional questions.
Looked like you were dancing there in the back.
Well, I tend to agree with that sort of statement, but I'll tell you, once you have the right zoning, it's very difficult to stop a project. It goes through a lot of development. It's a development plan now. It's not a zoning matter. I mean, there's a difference between what the Planning and Zoning Commission can do and cannot do. That goes to development services now. And if a person comes up with a plan that fits the zoning, how are you gonna say no? You're gonna request some things like a traffic study. You're gonna request those type of things, and you're gonna request those type of improvements. But if it's done intelligently, and I think they will do it intelligently, you know, they will only get requested for what they need to get their phase of development done, which is a quagmire now, where that small entities like San Luis and Somerton and Welton gets involved, because now development is happening so fast, but you can only get them to be responsible for the demands that development creates. This is a lot of development that is happening at one time. I know it gets controversial when it gets to be that size. It always does.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the reason that staff recommended a 10-year time limit to comply with the schedule for development is based on the scale of the project. It's going to be a phased project, although the developer did not label the different subdivisions or the different phases. Just based on the nature and the scale of the development, it will be phased. Once the zoning is approved, which is where we're at today, once the zoning is approved, they will have to comply with the Yuma County subdivision regulations as far as submitting subdivision plats for review. Those subdivision plats will be reviewed by staff and then acted upon by both the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Board of Supervisors as far as the final plat is concerned. As far as the infrastructure, again, they will have to comply with the subdivision regulations and the public works standards for provision of water, sewer, and any improvement of roads and any other infrastructure required for the project.
Thank you, Maggie. That was so much better said.
No. All right. Any more questions for staff? No. Thank you, and I'll go ahead and open it up to the public.
For the minor amendments, staff recommends approval.
Oh.
For the minor.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll open up the public hearing, and I do have a speaker form, and Cindy Wellman.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, board members. My name's Cindy Wellman. I live in the foothills at 10551 South Del Vista Drive. And I'm here to urge the board to send these rezoning requests back for planning and zoning to further address infrastructure and the 2030 plan. On page 113 of the 2030 plan, as approved by this board, under Foothills Planning Area Policies and Priorities, it states, F5.
I apologize. Can we have a copy of that? Can we get that and put it up so that we can all see?
Okay, it's page 113. You want me to wait?
If you would, just a second,
Sure.
please. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Smarter people than me working. That's always the right way to lead.
I will say I appreciated many of the comments that were made here by Ms. Pancrazzi and Mr. Reyes.
What page did you say?
113.
It's going too fast.
I want you to have a seizure, Lynn.
Ugh.
There you go.
Stomach.
Under Foothills Planning Area Policies and Priorities, F5 states future residential development should not cause the quality of life of Foothills residents to decline. F6, residential development should not outpace the development of infrastructure to support it. F7, a lower density of residential development in the foothills is desired. And F8, the impact on water supply and sewage treatment systems will be specifically analyzed and taken into account when considering any future land use designation change. The county planners, in emails we've exchanged, indicates that with active subdivisions currently approved in final plat process or improvement plan, there are as many as 1,175 lots. That number doesn't include the approximate 1,650 RVS lots that were approved last October for the Granite Yuma subdivision, because it's considered undeveloped and inactive. Yet the approval was given. That means nearly 3,000 lots have already received a green light. While Foothills Utilities is working to correct problems, many of my neighbors continue to experience low water pressure and nasty sewer smells. They say they have a 100-year water certificate, yet in a recent Yuma Sun article, the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation predicts that humans will not have to face any limitations on water consumption until at least January 2026. That's less than 2 years away. That doesn't compute. That's a huge concern. Can rural Metro keep up with the significant growth for fire and emergency services? We wonder how quick they'll get to us. What about the sheriff department and protection? I've heard our numbers are not on a national average at this point. Where will the children of all these new homes attend school? We have no schools in the foothills. None are being planned. And our roads are congested and hazardous even during the summer months before our winter visitors get here. With the abundance of already approved subdivisions, I ask that you delay your vote until you can be assured that the infrastructure in the foothills is adequate. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
I have a question for staff. Maybe.
Let me see if someone else, anybody else from the public?
Hi, Mr. Sherman. Hi, everyone. I'm the agent for the developer. I'm just here to answer any questions you may have for us, maybe facing, maybe infrastructure, the plans that we have, or any, that you can think of.
Okay. Well,
would you like to address any of the comments that have been made? Explain the process, because I know that it won't all be developed at one time.
Yeah. Correct. So
What a lot of people see just because of the way that it's presented, so that it would be phased in, right?
correct. And we had we had pursued different ways of connecting the sewer, because we have to put everyone on this development on sewer. We've talked to ADA, we've talked to Foothills Utilities, and the only way we can do it is on the parcel here on the southwest corner.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go across the freeway and connect into Section 14, which starts at Foothills Boulevard, right just out of the intersection. Actually, on that line, it's pretty empty. It doesn't have a lot of load. So, that's being distributed to all the residents in the Foothills area, even if they don't realize it. So this would not only help Foothills Utilities have more funds to make more improvements and increase the quality of life instead of decreasing it, but it would also make use and reduce, I cannot say that it will reduce cost, but there's power in numbers, So I just wanted to point out that I think that the quality of life will increase in this area. And based on that sewer, we want to start with this portion, the southwest portion, and go around. We may also do simultaneously a commercial section on the southeast corner that hasn't been mentioned yet. So we got rid of along Foothills Boulevard on the west side, we got rid of that commercial zone area, and we're just shifting it to the southeast. That way it's very distributed. And then, as you can see from the existing zoning maps, it used to be a golf course, so you have patches here and there. So in reality, we're not changing a lot. It's just cleaning it up, the whole area. We actually, in some lots, we're increasing the size so that instead of having a lower density as it stands right now, we're increasing the size of lots. So we are really trying to do right by everyone, the county, the community. And yes, it will be a big development, but it will take time because we want to do it right and want to do it for everyone. So,
thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, that question I was going to direct to staff, but I guess Arturo. Arturo is your name, right?
Yes, Arturo.
Arturo, I guess the question is, how many lots can be developed on that property if the zoning isn't changed?
So regular lots, we're thinking about 450 lots.
Regular lots?
Yes.
And you're talking about this size, the 8,000 and 6,000 square foot?
Yes.
How many can that actually be developed there? I mean, I think that staff is trying to approach that. Because I was under the impression that you can actually develop more lots in there.
We had originally more R16 areas, but we switched everything to mostly R18. So
you're minimizing the density.
Yeah, we're minimizing the density.
That's the point that I'm getting to. I mean, I think that a lot of the development that's happened in the past have been the development of RBs, which is what Lady was referring to. We have already approved. I mean, I've seen some of the comments here that talk about 2,000 units and talk about 1,200 units and 1,400 units, which were also said to be the design for that area. In other words, that area was quote, designed for RV size, smaller size lots. To me, seeing 6,000 and 8,000 square foot seems to me that you're actually trying to minimize the number of lots, not maximize the number you
Correct.
get. That leads me to believe that essentially this is a better way to plan an area than it would be to let it develop as it will.
Correct.
And that I think has been a problem in the past a lot, that we don't actually have a time frame where people are going to do this in sections, and the infrastructure necessary to sustain it, the water and sewer, they come on will-serve letters. You cannot just simply say, we're going to put water, we're going to put sewer in here. And the sewer company has to give you a will-serve letter. The water company has to give you a will-serve letter, which means to me that they have to be ready to take on. With your improvements, you have to bring in enough potential growth in that area, enough, what's it called, capacity. That's what I call it. They have to have enough capacity to handle. I don't know what they'll do if they had 3,000 lots all of a sudden to handle, because that would mean like an increase in water. And they're having problems with water. They have problems in the winter like everyone else. When we go to a restaurant in the winter, try to get in, all the winter visitors are lined up. I mean, that's what life in Yuma is like in the winter. And it's not just life in Yuma in general. It's life in the borders in general, for example, with all the farm workers coming in the winter. I mean, to get into Mexico, to get out into Mexico, it's an ordeal. To get back from Mexico, it's an ordeal in the mornings. It's just life in Yuma County. Yuma County becomes twice the size that it normally is in the winter, and it's just we have to sort of look at this as a freeway that's full of cars, and so sorry, I'm oversending this. What I wanted to say is that what I think about this is that instead of thinking about it as an additional load, think about it as reducing the actual load what could happen there. That's the way I look at it. I look at it this way. It's better to plan for it than to let it happen organically.
Yeah, and we're trying to do it as responsibly. So,
any other questions for the applicant? Thank you. Nobody else from the public?
Mr. Chairman?
I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
I move that we approve 24-10, 12, 13, and 14 as presented.
Well, after I get done saying what I wanted to say before he jumps in there, this I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people have expressed their concerns with this. This is the first phase. there's still a long way to go to get it to where they're actually going to start putting in the infrastructure of the houses. The menagerie that's in there as far as zoning now, like I said, you can develop somewhere between 420 and 450 homes of any type. There's a lot of different types that fall underneath those. I think by changing the zoning with the 8,000 square foot lots, it makes sense to do it right, the growth, to match Mesa del Sol and the homes in that area. So I'll second
Mr. Chairman,
Jonathan's.
Item number 1 has to be
Separate.
All other items have to be motion
The
different.
minor amendment has to
I'll
be
make the
approved.
motion to approve minor amendment case 24-03.
I'll second the motion quickly.
There's a motion and a second to approve the minor amendment, case number 24-03. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve 24-10, 12, 13, and 14.
Chairman, has to be a separate motion.
Separately. Go ahead, you move the next one.
24-10.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve case number 24-10. All those in favor say aye.
Can I comment something before? Yeah, I
Go
want
ahead, you can do 12.
Okay, no.
Oh.
I just want to make a comment. This seems anticlimactic because we're doing it so quickly, but there's been a lot of thought to this process. And I don't want people who send letters in opposition, who will come and met with us and shown their opposition to take this as a very lightheaded comment. It isn't. This is a very important process of planning for the foothills. And I think planning is always better than letting things happen on their own.
I agree.
I want to make sure of that.
And like I said, people are very passionate about the foothills. Foothills residents care more than you could ever imagine about their area and the design and the growth. And, you know, a lot of people want commercial businesses coming out that way. Unfortunately, the commercial building or the commercial businesses follow the
Residential.
residential. If you don't have the residential growth, you're not going to get the commercial growth, grocery stores and stuff. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword, unfortunately. But to go forward, we just need to make sure it's responsible growth and with the right zonings. So.
Okay.
We do have a motion and a second for rezoning case number 24-10. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to share.
Okay, I move we approve rezoning case number 24-12.
I'll second the motion.
There's a motion and a second to approve rezoning case number 24-12. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve 24-13.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to approve rezoning case number 24-13. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion we approve 24-14.
I'll
as
second.
presented.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to approve rezoning case number 24-14. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 6, rezoning case number 24-15. Mr. Barraza.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, present the rezoning case 24-15. This is a little different in the same general area. There is two zonings being requested here. The first one will be rezone a 16.91 net acre portion of a parcel that is 29.56 plus or minus acres in size from RA10 to general commercial, C-2, and the remaining 12-11 net acres to high-density residential, located in Foothills Planning Area, northeast corner of North Frontage Road and Foothills Boulevard. The intent is to develop a mixture of residential and general commercial uses. Outlined in red is a subject parcel. Cross-hatching the bluish color is a portion to be rezoned to high-density residential. It's 12.11, and the rest to general commercial. Access to the property is along the North Frontage Road and Foothills Boulevard. Parcels on the north and northwest were already previously approved for R18, and they're in desert terrain condition. Parcels on the east are developed with an RV park and the Fortuna Golf subdivision, and that area is improved with tribal residences. To the west, we have the Premier Storage condominiums. This is an old aerial showing the development at that time. Outlined in blue is the subject parcel. It's level. This is a conceptual design. The applicant not sure how it's going to be developed in the high-density residential zone area as a subdivision or just one parcel with condos and apartments. However, the general commercial area is going to have to be developed as a subdivision because it's 6 parcels. This is a view looking northeast of the property from the southwest corner. Looking east from the same Foothills Boulevard and North French Road intersection. Now looking southeast of the property from the northwest corner. Staff received 39 letters and 3 petitions signed by 50 residents on opposition to this request for a total of 89 opposition letters. The amount of opposition does not trigger a supermajority vote from this board. The Planning Commission recommends approval of rezoning case 24-15, subject to the same performance conditions as previous cases and same schedule for development from previous cases. Mr. Chairman, that concludes staff's presentation.
Can you back it up a couple? There you go. The amount of opposition does not trigger superiority. What's MCAS, ADOT, and Foothills Utilities Company, Department of...
Those are their, just received comments from different agencies.
They're not in opposition.
They're not in opposition. Part of what we received.
He would have stood up already.
I don't know, he's been sitting there for a while. Getting a little concerned, but just wanted to make sure. It's just there with the letter of opposition.
Any questions for staff?
I've got, well, I'll go ahead and open it up before I.
All right, thank you, Herbert. Go ahead and open the public hearing. And if anybody from the public that wishes to address the board? Seeing none, or applicant?
And I'm here to answer any questions about this board.
I've got a question here, Mr. Chairman. The R3 is what concerns me. And I think I've talked to Karen about this. With the homes that it's gonna butt up to in that area, and I don't think, talking to her, I don't think she's wanting to develop it as R3. If I'm not mistaken. So can we approve it other than the R3, and maybe bring that back to the board? Or what's?
Maggie's right
Maggie?
behind you.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Simmons, no, the action that needs to be taken today is either approval or denial of the request. If the board wants to consider a different zoning for that area of the property, the case would have to be brought before taken to the Planning and Zoning Commission and the board of supervisors.
Do condos fall under the R3?
Yes.
They do? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, under R3, you can develop single-family residences, detached or attached, multifamily residences, attached or detached.
But that's still got to come back to us for approval, as far as once it gets going.
Mr. Chairman, yes, if it's developed as a subdivision, for example, condominiums or townhomes, they would require filing of a subdivision plan, which would have to be acted upon by the Planning and Zoning Commission and the board.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
There's somebody in the back.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I think Cindy had something back there.
No more questions for the applicant? Or do you want something else to say?
No, the idea right now is to townhomes, but yes.
Okay, thank you. Cindy, come up, you can come up.
I just wanted to say that my opposition was also to 2415.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Same basis, right? Just an overall increase in density without the proper.
Nobody else from the public? I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve rezoning case 2415.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to approve rezoning case number 24-15. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Actually, that didn't work out, did it? If we're gonna send it back to the zoning commission.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Well, if it's, we've got to approve it still.
Legislative
Yeah,
issues. Item number 1. Alejandro.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Alejandro Figueroa, Economic Development and Intergovernmental Affairs Director. So today, the start of the 2024 edition of TSA's annual summit, which will be held in Maricopa, Arizona by host Pinal County. The summit convenes county supervisors and professional staff to discuss the upcoming year's potential political context, deliberate and ultimately adopt the association's resolutions, legislative agenda, and advocacy strategies for the upcoming legislative session, and also review the detailed 2025 research work plan put together by CSA's Research Data and Budget team. Just as a brief review, I want to do a brief review of the agenda for with the board today. So today, guests will be invited to attend the CSA's welcome reception and dinner. Tomorrow, Tuesday, October 8th, will be a dedicated work session with a facilitated discussion regarding CSA's proposed resolutions and policies, as well as updates and briefings on state and county revenue, coalition priorities, research initiatives, and emerging issue updates. And then finally, on Wednesday, October 9th, it will be dedicated to small, medium, and large county caucus meetings during breakfast, a continuance of the work session if needed, and the CSA Board of Directors meeting in which supervisors will have the opportunity to vote on legislative proposals. Paul Vance, an award-winning pollster from High Ground, will be present to give attendees a presentation on the 2024 general election trends. Also, Senator T.J. Shope and Senator Mitzi Epstein. Representative Leo Villasucci will participate in a facilitated panel discussion and have a chance to respond to questions about the future of Arizona. Here are the 3 policy proposals that Yuma County are going to be presenting to the CSA board during the summit. The first one, the waste tire proposal. As we know, current resources from the Arizona Waste Tire Fund are inadequate to cover the rising costs of collection, disposal, and processing. Without additional state funding, Yuma County and other counties will continue facing financial shortfalls. The financial burden of handling waste tire management has significantly increased. That's why Yuma County is seeking legislative support to bridge the funding gap and ensure proper disposal without further financial strain on local budgets. So the idea is to work with the association staff and other counties to further review the waste tire disposal process statewide, assess inefficiencies, and address concerns, and direct the association to produce a report on these discussions. The second point, affordable housing resolution. Yuma County faces a shortage of affordable housing, exacerbated by a rapid population growth and increasing housing costs. This proposal seeks to expand affordable housing development through targeted state support. The low-income housing tax credit program is a critical tool for financing affordable housing projects. Yuma County is advocating for increased state collaboration to maximize the use of this program to attract developers and expand affordable housing availability. Yuma County is also requesting greater access to the Housing Trust Fund, which is vital for funding affordable housing projects, particularly in rural areas. Strengthening the HTF would enable the county to address housing needs for low-income families, seniors, and individuals with disabilities. And lastly, there is a Yavapai proposal that the County Board of Supervisors decided to support. Now, Yavapai County has decided to change their proposal a little bit, and instead of focusing on limiting or capping the increases on RVs and mobile homes on a yearly basis, they're deciding to go with looking for the creation of a state-backed mobile home replacement program which would provide grants or low-interest loans to assist low-income residents in upgrading their homes. This, they say, will improve safety, enhance quality of life, and protect one of the state's most affordable housing options. So overall, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, after some research and meetings with CSA staff and other stakeholders, we've decided to, on the waste tire at least, keep the conversation going. CSA staff crunched some numbers, and if we were to change the formula right now, as it is, funding counties based on the number of vehicles registered in the county, instead of where the tires are disposed of or bought, we would be losing money. This is according to CSA staff research on ADOR's data and ADQ's data.
Oh, wow.
So if we were to push for that, apparently we would be in the red, or further in the red. That's why we're asking the staff to do a lot more research on this. Counties count tires differently. There's ag tires, there's construction tires, there's a lot of different variables, and counties count them differently and weigh them differently. So it's proven to be a much more complex issue than we initially thought it would be.
Are there any recommendations?
Well, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman Lyons, the recommendation from staff is that we continue looking into this issue with CSA staff, with other stakeholders.
Find a different way.
Find a different way. And now the idea, plan B for us is have the state negotiate a contract with the only vendor we have, CRM, in the whole state of Arizona. Because CRM right now charges different rates to different counties.
Oh,
They are?
They are.
yes.
And they take longer to come out to Yuma County than they do for Maricopa and Pima, obviously.
That be considered like an antitrust thing?
More tires over there.
Yeah,
We
what,
don't know if.
They wait until they actually need or have a client for the tires or for the product they make out of the tires, and that's why they take longer to come out here. We need to have a sit down with CRM and see why they're taking longer, why are we getting different, and they're actually hiring a third party now to haul the tires.
Are we not on a state contract?
No,
Everything's individual.
everybody's individual.
Would that be a way to approach it?
Yes, that's the idea.
Through a
To
state
have,
contract?
to have the
A
state,
state.
instead of passing it on to the counties, to make us responsible for the management of tires, have the state issue or negotiate a deal for fixed rate for all counties.
I
There,
agree.
don't you still have thousands of tires?
yeah, that, I've got somebody out there that brings thousands of tires in from California, and we don't see anything from that.
Supervisor Simmons, Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Simmons, we have 120-some thousand tires right now in our waste tire facility. It would take us $1.3 million approximately to get rid of those tires. So that's another ask we can have for the state to just give us the money to clean it up. But we need a long-term solution to this issue.
Mr. Chairman, does that include Darren's tires?
No,
I mean, how do we restrict that? It's like dumping their fecal matter here from California to Yuma, and now they're doing the tires, so how do we restrict that?
Vice Chairman Lyons, it's really hard when we have California plates coming in and we're still taking them because our fear of them disposing of them in the middle of the desert. Mexican license plates are also coming in, and winter visitors. So right now, as you know, we get five freebies per Yuma County resident. It's barely being tracked by license plate right now, but there's a lot of loopholes. But again, there's a fear or concern that residents will just dispose of those tires elsewhere.
So Alejandro, on this one, do you want us to pull it then? We just have a conversation, but not as a.
The CSA staff will present it like this to the board of directors at the summit, and we'll vote on the ask to have a conversation.
Okay.
For the conversation and for the association to produce a report.
Okay.
Based on the results on that report, we'll then engage with the state.
Okay.
But my assumption and my goal at this point in time, Mr. Chairman, is to have the state sit down with CRM and come up with a fixed rate.
A state.
And force them to come out regularly instead of them, taking their time.
So that'll be,
And have
maybe,
a schedule.
maybe talk with their representatives and then.
Is ADEQ involved?
ADQ is involved to some extent, but the one who captures or gets the fees from the waste tire, from the tire shops is ADOR. But they have limited information as far as how many tires are bought within every county. So that's the thing.
Could we ask ADEQ to help us with the tires that are coming in from California?
That's where.
We
well,
need to
no,
look
we-
at that.
Mr. Chairman, we passed an ordinance that said any waste coming in from any other place has to have a special use permit by us. And tires are considered that. We just passed that ordinance. Now, this company is already existing, but any new companies would have to have, well, this company may have to get it as well, if they've never gotten approval for those tires out there. So
Mr.
we
Chairman,
have something in place.
so with the county's waste tire facility, we don't accept California tires. They have to have a manifest for each tire, and it's local tire shops. I think in Supervisor Simmons' district, it's
There's
a
a guy that's
privately
buying
owned waste tire disposal facility, which I believe ADEQ is in the process of investigating.
Yeah, because they've far exceeded their tire limit.
Oh, good.
But they've been investigating them for years, you know.
And they don't do anything, yeah.
Well, maybe we can follow that up and just. So, well, all right.
So that, I wanted to make sure that you were aware of the latest changes to the proposals based on research that was done by CSA staff. On the state level, Proposition 100 and 140 moves forward. A remaining question about the state's 2024 general election ballot was answered when the Arizona Supreme Court dismissed the remaining legal challenge to Proposition 140, also known as a quote-unquote Make Elections Fair Act. Were this initiative to be successful at the polls, it would require open primaries in elections, among other items. The Arizona legislature has authored a dueling Proposition 1333, which will make its way to voters on the same ballot. In the event both propositions are approved, the one with the most votes will become effective. I'd also like to let the board know that the governor has directed the Arizona Department of Health Services to begin enforcing House Bill 2042, known as the Tamale Bill, which expands the type of food that at-home vendors can sell, including items requiring refrigeration. Although ADHS initially delayed implementation, citing the need for rulemaking, it is believed that the public pressure on legal action prompted the Hobbs administration to push for immediate enforcement. The bill passed after revisions addressed concerns over food safety following a previous veto in 2023. This may force the Yuma County Health Department into a regulatory role for these food vendors. Rulemaking is ongoing, so we'll watch for the state to possibly delegate authority to the county without providing additional funding or food safety inspections. On the federal side, some good news. The fiscal year 2024 National Defense Authorization Act, signed into law by President Biden in December 2023, includes a provision that allows Border Patrol agents to receive higher rates of overtime pay. Border Patrol agents at the government rank of GS-12 and above are now eligible to receive time and a half pay for overtime hours worked. This change applies to the obligated overtime hours worked under the Border Patrol Agent Pay Reform Act. While the law took effect immediately upon signing, there are some important details regarding the implementation of back pay. Agents will receive back pay for any quantifying hours worked from the date the law was signed, back in December 2023, through the date that the agency fully implements law. However, there has been some delays in the implementation. The federal government has reported that the implementation of the NDA pay raise for Border Patrol agents was postponed from June 2024 until August 2024 due to technical reasons related to payroll processing. Nevertheless, I'm happy to share that CBP has stated that back pay compensation was deposited into employee bank accounts between September 28 and October 3rd, 2024, depending on the financial institution. It is worth noting that Senator Sinema and Congressman Juan Ciscomani led the effort in their respective chambers to ensure Border Patrol agents received the overtime pay they were promised. And that would conclude my presentation to the board, Mr. Chairman. If you have any questions.
Any questions for Alejandro?
Anything on the security items? I mean, I've been hearing a lot about the efforts that they're doing to trying to, provide a more secure San Luis Rio Colorado, but I don't think that's worked out that well. No, I read in the paper, was it yesterday, the day before yesterday, the mayor of San Luis is asking people not to go there unless they need to.
Yeah.
Is that like a policy from the government, or is it just an opinion?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Reyes, that's Mayor Rydell's opinion. At this point in time, I have not been informed of any State Department's official statements on this. I met with the new Economic Development Director for San Luis Colorado last week, and I asked him to keep me abreast and to have an open communication with them about their security efforts down there. We didn't have that in the past administration. We were very much limited as to how and when we could talk about this issue with them. So I'm hoping that the new administration will be more open to share information with the county.
Mr. Chairman, Alejandro, earlier this year, the State Department did issue a warning for traveling to San Luis Rio and Sonora. I don't believe they've listed it, to Tony's point. And secondarily, could we have an update on Chevron deference and where we would go regarding PM10
PM10.
in the future?
Any other questions? Thank you, Alejandro. Can we skip the calendar events and move
Yes.
on to the executive session?
Yes.
All right. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, we enter into executive session.
I'll second.
Before you vote, just so you know, we don't need to come back into regular session.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So when you go into executive session, the public leaves, you can end
End
the
the
meeting
meeting.
will be officially